Hi guys, I'm EVM and welcome back. Octopus EVs lease full electric vehicles, very much like this BMW behind me, and they get given many reasons as to why sometimes people decide not to dip their toes into EV ownership. I hear the same reasons myself through the channel, of course. Now, some of these are perfectly valid reasons, but a lot of them are based around a misconception. One such misconception is that long journeys are very difficult, or as some genuinely believe, impossible to do in a full EV, especially if you go somewhere a little bit more remote or rural and leave the confines of the motorway network. What better way to show people how easy it is to do a long journey in a full EV than to do a long journey in a full EV? But not just a long journey, a ridiculously long journey. And we're going to do it in a ridiculously short time frame. And to try and get rid of the, well, I never have to check to see if the petrol station's working before I set off, we're also going to do this with no planning, no checking at all. We're literally going to get in the car, stick the destination in the sat-nav and go. So we have a long journey, we have a full electric car, we have a very short time frame, and we're not going to do any planning. I mean, how hard could that possibly be? Right, now let me tell you exactly what we're going to do, because this is kind of a two-part challenge. The first part is basically we're going to do Scotland's North Coast 500, which is, as the name suggests, a 500-mile coastal route around the very tip of the UK in the Scottish Highlands. We're going to try and do that in a full electric vehicle, and we're going to try and do it in under 24 hours, and of course with no planning. We have to not just do the North Coast in 24 hours, but we have to get to the start/end point of it, which is Inverness. From where we're going to set off, it's well over 400 miles away. So we have to do 400 and odd miles to get there, 500 and odd obviously to do the North Coast itself, and then 400 and odd miles to get back. So we'll be doing, near as damn it, 1400 miles in a full electric vehicle. But unfortunately, we can't set off any earlier than late afternoon on Friday after work, and I have to be back by late Sunday afternoon to look after my daughter. So ultimately we have to do 1400 miles in this in just 2 days, 48 hours for 1400 miles. Now, as you know, I'm looking into my next EV right now, and I'm giving some serious thought into leasing one. So if you're in the same boat as me and you're thinking of leasing your next full electric vehicle, please do visit the very, very nice people at octopusevs.com. Without them, I wouldn't be able to do this video. And ultimately, you've probably heard of their sister company, Octopus Energy, of course. So the link to their website will be in the description below. So please do click on it and see if you fancy leasing a full electric vehicle. Right, now I'm going to go upstairs and pack and get some sleep before we set off tomorrow, because I imagine I'm not going to get much of that sleep over the next few days. If anybody's wondering why we didn't do, I know, John O'Groats to Land's End or anything like that as the challenge, and back again, which would have been quite difficult, and I think someone's done it before. We're on a motorway, which is just boring. Yep, absolutely. Boring to watch, boring to do. The North Coast 500 is far, far better all round. So I guess there are longer distances you could have done in the UK, but I mean, look at this. We're just sat here.
Yeah, it's boring, isn't it?
Oh look, we're going to another service station to charge. Oh look, we're going to another service station to charge.
Too easy as well.
Yeah, it's too easy.
Yeah.
Right, we're here at our first charge. Nothing special really. It's a Polar charger. That's gone really easily. We've come all the way up to nearly just shy of Scotland basically, and we thought we'd get something to eat. So what have we got? I might have a drink first.
Yeah, I think I'll drink it. Yeah,
we've got some drinks with us. 2019, if I'm not mistaken.
I think so. Fantastic.
It's amazing what these electric cars can hold.
It certainly is.
People think charging's a chore on long journeys, but for me, I just don't see it.
No, I don't even know. No.
We could have been driving on a motorway right now if we're in a petrol car.
Do you know, I've got a good man just to throw this out the window.
We're about to enter Scotland.
Hey.
You ready?
Nearly.
Not yet.
Almost.
Oh. Scotland! We're in Scotland! Second charge?
Yeah, yep.
15 miles, went very, very easy on that one. We've been very efficient. We're only stopping to charge, therefore we've got to
charge and fuel ourselves.
Yes. If we pull over for some food and the car's not charging, that's wasted time. We don't have time to waste on this journey. So what have we got?
The question is, do we want the antipasto there?
Antipasto.
I think that's a tapas selection.
Tapas selection.
Chicken, that's red Thai. Got some salsa, potato salad.
I like a bit of potato salad.
Whatever, falafel?
Falafels.
Yep. Like pork
pies.
Beef sticks. Bacon bites.
Bacon bites.
Yeah. Alright.
There's something missing. It's almost perfect.
Almost. Bit of seasoning.
Salt as well, please. Have we got any salt?
I'll have a look in here. Yep.
Brilliant. Right, we're here in Inverness. We're at a charger in Cathedral Car Park. There's some sort of music thing going on over there. 3 charges, and it's been clear run, to be perfectly honest with you. So yeah, we're just paying for the car park. Is it working? It's not.
No, I put £4 in there, it printed a ticket and nothing came out.
And people worry about charging things working. We're just going to walk along the river into our hotel and then get a relatively early night so we can set off, and the plan is to set off about 6:30ish.
Yeah. Actually, we've done more stops coming up this time than we have done the times before, and it's actually been an easier drive, hasn't it?
It's early o'clock and
We've just had the only sleep we're going to be getting on this entire journey. So we're going to be setting off in a bit and then and seeing if we can do this thing. Here we are outside Inverness Castle / courthouse, whatever it is. This is the start point and end point of the North Coast 500 challenge. It's precisely 6:52. We have the Octo car to do the Octo challenge, and we've got until basically 6:53, I'll say, on Sunday to get back here to do it in 24 hours. Not only that, but we also have to get all the way back home, which is effectively almost 1,000 miles away from here, by Sunday afternoon tomorrow.
That's going to be fun.
Okay, there we are.
Inverness Bridge.
Yep, so we're basically leaving Inverness over this bridge, and it begins. It does. So hopefully traffic will be kind. I think I can see a Hobbit up there. So this is the single track roads that we've kind of mentioned, and why the average speed will be quite low. But then you just look over, and why would you want to do a journey like this at speed? You just wouldn't want to, would you? It's there's too much to look at, the scenery. The sat-nav's been trying to get us to do a U-turn for the past couple of miles, but it doesn't matter. Just look at that, it's breathtaking. And then when I pan round here, let other people pass, and it's easier for everyone. But that's also why the average speed is quite low. And you can see the road we've just come up, and you can see the cloud level, and we're literally about to go into the clouds. We haven't got a lot of time to stop. We don't need to waste time on this journey, of course, but we're at the top of the pass, and quite frankly, the camera does not do it justice. Yep, full electric, no problems, and we've got about 90 odd miles range.
Yeah.
Probably more, because we've got a lot of regen ahead of us now.
There you go.
So the car reckons we've got about 80 miles left, but we're at the start of the
Descent.
Yeah. So basically we've got a ton of regen. So there's one benefit that people don't really know about until they own the EV. It's that regen makes it so much more efficient, and it's only when you do something like this, when you think, well, I've just driven 4 miles and I've gained 10 or something like that in energy. First charge so far, about, I think, 120 miles. Is that right?
I think 120.
120, something like that, and it's been a doddle so far. Traffic's actually been surprisingly light, given the fact it's August. So yeah, so far so good. Not much to report other than that. It's stunning, the weather's nice, and it's easy in an EV. Just a bit of breakfast. Well, it's missing something. I usually have a glass of fresh orange in the morning.
Hang on.
Brilliant, thank you. We're at Gairlock. There's a charger. We don't need to use it, but because we're on YouTube, you have to prove everything you do. So we're going to give you all the, not all the chargers, but most of them to prove we've actually done the North Coast 500 in this time frame. Yeah, or the name of the town or whatever. So yeah, we're here, and now we're going to carry on again. Well, we're into good Scottish weather now, and it's getting a little bit busy. We're having a lot of cars coming the other way, so this is where the average speed really drops off. Still making good time, but the weather and the cars coming the other way and whatnot.
Gonna slow things down.
Slowing us down a bit. Here we are at Ullapool Harbour. There's two in Ullapool. This is the harbour one, and we're charging all right. So we're going to go get something to eat, I think. How long have we got left, do you reckon, in mileage terms?
I've lost
300?
Between 300 and 350.
300, 350 miles to go. What time is it?
It's 1 o'clock.
It's 1 o'clock. Well, we've just seen a Model 3.
We certainly have,
Dutch Model 3. The first one I've seen in the wild, I think. I halfway should have stopped him.
Blocked his way.
What are you doing? Thankfully, Harry did pass the Dutchy on the left-hand side, as you should, of course, in Scotland. Here at Tongue, which is down there somewhere, the charger is online, but it doesn't work on CCS, it appears. CCS just doesn't connect to the car. I don't know why. So this is the second concurrent charger that isn't working. But we've got plenty of charge to get to the next one and the next one after that if necessary. So it's not really going to cause us too much of a problem. And this is why we typically end up stopping to do a charge at about 50%ish. Depending on where the charger is, because then you can just go to the next one or the next one on if there is an issue. This is one thing we've not really accounted for, I suppose, in terms of lowering our average speed.
Yep.
Fog.
Quite a bit of it.
And it's very thick at the moment to the point where you actually do need your fog lights on.
Yep.
Do what, 30 miles per hour, and there's still sheep on the road.
And
suicidal sheep.
Showing up really well in the fog.
Right, we'll scrabs the ferry as we just said, so it's working, it's fine. There's a Tesla using the AC side of the charging.
Yep.
Thankfully you can use AC and DC. Now we've been doing live updates on the Twitter feed, so at EVManUK. And there's been a few comments on that, basically, from a few people that basically said, oh, doing the North Coast 500 in a day is ridiculous, and it's why it shouldn't happen, it's not there for that.
It's not natural.
We're doing 500 and odd miles, whether it's over one day or 5 or 6 or 7, it's not going to change the impact we've had on the road.
This isn't a race.
No, it's a race
Just
against
seeing if
time.
we can do this in 24 hours.
Yeah, it's a race against time, but it's not in an EV.
Yeah.
Because the quicker we go, the longer we have to charge, and ultimately, we're not actually gaining any time.
No. It just works against you.
Exactly.
It's
so
being the most efficient.
Efficient, yeah. So we've actually been driving economically, if anything.
We have, yeah. We had to.
Well, we've made it to John O'Groats. We're here. Proof. What time is it?
It is 7:25.
7:25. We've hit John O'Groats, so now it's basically a straight southerly journey all the way down back home.
Yeah.
Right, we're going to get off because the longer we spend here, the longer it is before we get home. We're now at Tane, and as you can see, it's getting a bit darker, so I'm going to have to rely on this thing. And it's going to be the last charge before we get to the North Coast. We could almost get to Inverness. We could probably
smidge it out.
But obviously we're flying past the Inverness all the way back home, so we thought might as well get a charge here because we're making great time. So right, we're going to get charged. So we can literally see the castle, so we're probably a tenth of a mile away. And then we have done. The challenge is complete. And we're about to pull into where it all began. And there it is. We were here so early this morning that the castle was shut, and we're back so late today that it's shut again. Here we are. There is the courthouse. We are back where we started from We set off at about 5 to 7 a.m. this morning, and what time is it?
Can we see that?
11:15. So quick man maths makes that for 16 hours
16
and
hours?
20 minutes.
Yeah, yeah.
Is that right?
Yeah, yeah.
16 hours 20 minutes, and we had 24 hours to do it, so it's been smashed.
Smashed it.
So yeah, I think we've proven without a shadow of a doubt that even in a full electric car, no range extender, no petrol engine, no hybridness, and it's been relatively easy. Yeah. The car hasn't missed a beat, really, has it? So we've just done 500 odd miles. It's 11:15 at night, and we're about to do another 450.
Yep.
And that will then we can say we have done 1,400 miles in less than 48 hours, which included a sleep.
Yeah, yep, we did, yep.
In a full electric car. So there really is no excuse, guys, that long journeys are an issue. We've had a couple of down charges and still it made no difference.
No, we're here.
We're here. Right, that's it. Let's go.
Let's go.
We've just entered England. We're back in good old Blighty. Hello. We're charging for the final time. Finally found an electric highway charger that works on CCS.
That's the only one.
This i3's taken a bit of hammering, hasn't it? This past 20 odd hours. It's done basically driving, charging, driving, charging, driving, charging.
Yep.
Many times.
And that hasn't failed once, has it?
So we're about 100 miles away.
Yeah. Just over.
Last leg.
Yeah, over 100 miles that way. So about 2 hours.
Right, well, I guess we'll see you when we get to the final destination. If anyone wants to try and emulate what we've done today and do the North Coast 500 in a day, don't. You'll be too tired, you'll miss out all the brilliant things. And yeah, just don't. Alright, we've done it, we're here,
Yep.
We've finished 1,400 miles pretty much in 43 hours, which included a sleep in a hotel. And of course, the North Coast 500 in 16 hours 20 minutes, which obliterated our target of 24 hours.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think if you're going to lease an EV from Octopus EVs, then you're going to have to find a different excuse other than the long journey one.
Yeah.
Basically, if we can do all of this in what, by today's standards, is a short to mid-range EV, certainly if you factor in what's coming out in the next kind of 6-12 months.
Oh, yeah.
If we can do all that, it's a no-brainer.
The car could have kept going.
Yep, very good
We
point.
could have gone to Land's End.
Yeah, the car has not skipped a beat at all, has it?
No.
The only issues we've had is with a few hiccups with the charging network,
Yeah.
and with our own self-tiredness. Fuel. We said we'd tell you how much fuel it costs. Now, it's free to charge in Scotland for most rapid charging, so this entire 1,400 miles has cost us about 20 quid. But if we had to have paid for it, I've just basically averaged out all charge networks pricing and roughly figured it out. It's about £65 for the full 1,400 miles in an EV. If you did it in a petrol diesel car, which did 50 miles per gallon over this particular journey, it'd have been 160 quid. And if the car did 40 miles per gallon, £200.
Wow.
So you're saving a minimum of 100 quid, I reckon. I think we should say
Thank you very much.
Thank you to Octopus for giving us the i3 and for sponsoring the video, of course. But I'm afraid you're going to have to do a better challenge than that. Just saying. Something a bit more challenging next time. Did I just say that? We're going to absolutely collapse. We set off this morning. Well,
No, we didn't. We set off yesterday morning.
we set off yesterday morning probably about 6:30 from the hotel.
Yep.
And it's now it's 8:30 the next day.
Yep.
And we've not stopped driving or charging, have we?
26 hours.
So yeah, it's been a long one, but thanks for watching if you have been, and we'll see you whenever. I don't know, brain's gone to mush, so I'm just going to say bye bye.